What is up, Wasp fans? I am Andrew Davis, your host of Buzz Time, and today we are announcing the finalists for the Blue and Golden Globes. Hold on tight and let's get into it. And we're back on Buzz Time, jumping right into Team of the Year, and I'm about to read off the finalists for you guys. For Team of the Year, we first have equestrian, football, men's basketball, softball, swimming, and women's basketball. So let's see what our picks are.
Whoa. You can go first,
I'm
Khalil.
going to be a little biased here with the football team. We won our last 5 games. We didn't start off so strong, but I definitely got to give it to the basketball team. Their program has been growing over the years. And, championship game, we didn't win it, but we went there. And so I'm going to give it to the basketball team.
And, my choice is going to be men's basketball team as well. From going from 16-12 to 20-8 and playing the conference championship game, definitely deserving of Team of the Year on this campus.
I think it comes down to 2 teams. I think it comes down to equestrian and men's basketball. And with equestrian, you almost get that LeBron James feel. Like, they are just so consistently excellent that they don't get recognized, you think, maybe as much as they should. Mm-hmm. But with the kind of breakthrough year that men's basketball had, I got to go ahead and give the slight edge to them. But look out for equestrian on
Right.
On
and I'm going to agree with Caleb. Men's basketball, I'm a little biased, but we did have just another breakout year. But I talked to Eli Worth-Jones, and he and his team are ready to go back to nationals for this season. So I think those are the 2 teams that I would pick personally. We're going to jump into female outstanding athlete, and I'm going to name those names off right now. We have Jillian Hogg for soccer, Megan Jacoby basketball, Danielle Loving softball, Michaela Nolte for swimming, and then we have Kennedy Thomason for volleyball. Who you got?
Honestly, she could be one of the breakout athletes of the year as well. Danielle Loving, 7 home runs as of yesterday. She hit a grand slam yesterday against Verona College. She's had an outstanding season, leading the team in home runs right now, and in the top 10 in the ODAC right now. Just an outstanding season for her so far. So my choice has got to go to Danielle Loving on the softball team.
I'm going to go with Jillian Hogg for soccer. When you watch her, she looks like a gazelle out there, but just her goals scored this year and just her speed, quickness, everything she contributed this year amounted to what I think could be this female outstanding athlete of the year.
I'm going to give it to Michaela Nolte. The spotlight's been on her, and she continues to perform. So, Michaela Nolte.
I think I got to go with Megan Jacoby. She's done good things for the basketball program the whole time that she's been here. Great passer. Now she has the record for assists for the school. I think she had a very outstanding year as well. That's a really, really tight race.
Yeah, I definitely think this category is going to be a toss-up. Like you saw, not any of us agreed on one person. We're all different athletes, so I definitely think it could be a toss-up this year.
Absolutely. So that's female outstanding athlete. We're going to jump into male outstanding athlete now. First, we have Jordan Couch for soccer. We have John Dalton Ferguson tennis, McFarland Murph for football, Eli Straw baseball, and we have Miles Turner for basketball.
I think this one is going to come down to 2 athletes. I think that's Jordan Couch and Eli Straw. Eli Straw has had an outstanding season so far, going from a not big role last year as a freshman to taking over to being the power in the lineup this year on the baseball team. And then Jordan Couch led the ODAC in goals scored. Had multiple hat tricks on the season. Honestly, I'm going to give it to Jordan Couch.
I'm going to agree with you there after interviewing him early in the middle of his season, and he was at one point number 3 in the nation, for goals scored, and just seeing the breakout season that he had, but him leading the soccer team this year for their breakout season for them, I'm going to go with Jordan Couch.
I'm torn between 2 athletes. Miles, he's fighting injury, and he's just been a very crucial part of the basketball team. But Murph has also been a consistent player for us in football and a necessity. So I'm going to go with Murph.
All right. I think Jordan Couch has got it here. He's done some things that we haven't seen on this campus on the field, on the pitch in a long, long time. So I like Jordan Couch there for a male outstanding athlete.
Next up, we have female newcomer. I'm going to name them off. We have first Bobby Joe Adsit for equestrian, Olivia Anson for swimming, Erica Grupp cross country, Emily Kendrick softball, and Sydney McKinney for volleyball and basketball.
It's got to go the ace on this one. Emily Kendrick. What a season she has had so far. leading the team in wins, leading the team in saves, and the ERA, one of the top in the ODAX. She was definitely a steal for Tommy Forrester. So Emily Kendrick, new player of the female newcomer of the year.
I'm going to go with Sydney McKinney. I haven't seen her on the volleyball court, but I've seen her on the basketball court, and she's been a key player as a freshman this year.
I'm going with Sydney McKinney as well. One, to dominate in one sport is one thing as a freshman, but to see her do that on both the volleyball and basketball court is an astounding accomplishment. So I'm going to go with Sydney here.
I would have said Sydney McKinney before I saw Emily Kendrick's performance against Randolph-Macon. She just absolutely shut down a very good lineup, a very good team, number 15 in the nation at that point. So I got to give the edge to Emily Kendrick.
That's your female newcomer of the year. For male newcomer of the year, we have Carlos Andrade for golf, Grayson McCarty tennis, Colin Molden basketball, Massimo Tager soccer, and Derek Yates for football.
I think this comes down to two athletes again in this category, Derek Yates and Colin Molden, but it's got to go to Colin Molden. When you're the only freshman this year to win Freshman of the Year in the ODAC on any team so far, we don't know what's going to happen with spring sports right now, but Colin Molden, he had himself a year as a freshman, and I definitely think he'll win male newcomer of the year.
I got to give it to Yates, seeing him play throughout the year on this team, but Colin definitely has to get it for me.
I'll go ahead and give it to Colin as well. He played well beyond his years and was leading the team. He had very good minutes in that championship game against a very stellar Guilford team. That was his most impressive performance, I think, on the year, all things considered, coming off of that sinus injury as well. So Colin Molden for male newcomer of the year.
I think it's unanimous. Colin Molden. I agree with all of you guys. Derek Yates had all these people had impressive years. So watching Derek, especially on the gridiron, but I'm going to go with Colin with just that season being a freshman, leading the team in all the categories that he did. Going to stick with Colin for this one. Next up, we have Defensive Player of the Year. Starting it off, we have Didier Grillet for men's soccer, Emily Henshaw volleyball, Megan Jacoby women's basketball, Davon Keith football, and Madison Vaughn women's soccer.
Devon Keith is going to win this one. I mean, when you have such a tenacious defensive line like Emory and Henry did this past year, Davon Keith was just the most pivotal part of that. I mean, he won all ODAC and was an all-region player too. So you got to give it to Davon.
I love Megan Jacoby, but she's going to have to be second up to Davon Keith for me.
I think I'll give the edge to Didier Grillet here. It's a different type of experience playing defense when you're by yourself sometimes, and it's just you and the person coming at you. And he's making very good decisions in goal, made some really great saves, and the defense as a whole really stepped up for men's soccer this year. But I think Didier Grillet, he's got great reflexes in goal. I'd argue he's the best goalkeeper in the ODAC.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Davon Keith, and just looking at the recognition he got from the ODAC and the region, and just seeing those accolades that he collected, and just watching him dominate on the gridiron. So I'm going to go with Davon Keith there. For our next award, we're going to go for the Individual Game Performance Award. Starting off, we have Taylor Blevins for women's basketball, Gavin Felty, baseball, Aaron Ferguson, men's basketball, Davon Keith, football, Emily Kendrick, softball, and Michaela Nolte for swimming.
The individual game performance is definitely going to go to Aaron Ferguson here. I would put money down on this if I could, but I can't because I'm a college athlete. But Aaron Ferguson had himself a game in the ODAC semifinals against Washington and Lee, a double-double that helped the Emory and Henry basketball team go to their very first ever ODAC championship since 1994. So got to give it to Aaron Ferguson here.
I'm also going to give it to Aaron Ferguson. I always love watching him play. He's in the post, but he can pull a mid-range shot or even deeper if he needs to. I'm going to give it to Aaron Ferguson.
I got to go with Aaron Ferguson, too. When McClung and I were calling that game, it was absolutely incredible. It was giving me chills. Like you're saying, he was hitting those mid-range jumpers, securing big-time rebounds, and that was a big-time double-double at a very big stage, and made sure that we got back for the championship. So I appreciate that, Ferg, and I'm going to give you individual game performance.
I'm on the fence between Aaron Ferguson and Michaela Nolte. You know, the name Michaela Nolte, I think she's been the staple of the swim team here at Emory and Henry, and especially last year until now, being able to do similar things that she did, and just that name buzzing around campus. You just know Michaela Nolte is that player and standout. So I think I'm going to go with Michaela Nolte. On the fence with that, though. Next, we're going to have a breakout athlete. Starting off with Christina Amin for women's soccer, Caitlin Sheaves for women's tennis, Allie Singleton for volleyball, Zach Smith for baseball, Joel Tidman, men's soccer, and then we have Alec Wynn for men's basketball.
I think this can come down to 3 athletes in this category. Katie Sheaves for women's tennis, Zach Smith for baseball, and then Alec Wynn for basketball. All of them have had outstanding seasons above what other people thought was going to happen this year. Katie Sheaves leading the women's team in wins, and then Zach Smith just doing something that not a lot of people have been able to do, go from injury to being one of the best players on the team. Then Alec Wynn from being a great, just a role player this year for the Emory Henry basketball team and a starter. But I got to give it to Zach Smith here, just to go back from a season-ending injury last year to go where he is now, leading the team in the average.
I'm going to have to go with my boy Alec, my roommate Alec, just like a breakout. He just had a breakout year, just a strong rebounder, and he was battling just back issues and some injuries, and to like push through that and to do what he did and just dominate on the boards, which was huge for our ODAC run, I think is what stands out most to me here.
I'm going to also go with Alec Wynn. He's been battling hand injuries, and his leadership has been really good this year.
I got to give it to Alec Wynn as well. He could be a potential candidate for this award next year if he, like you said, if his health gets right. But he's still one of the hardest workers on the team. At one point was leading the ODAC in field goal percentage, and he's just an absolute hard worker, and I got a lot of respect for him. I give him breakout athlete.
With breakout athlete, we now have the breakout team of the year. We have 3 teams. We have baseball, the golf team, and men's soccer. And I'm going to flat out say it right now. I'm going to go with men's soccer because of Jordan Couch, the leading, and just the season that they had and the games that they won. And they haven't done that in a long time. We haven't seen that on this campus.
Yeah, but we also haven't seen how well the baseball team has did in a long time too. Yes,
that's true.
A few days ago they tied their most wins in a season ever. I'm talking about since the baseball team started, they tied their most wins ever yesterday, and they still have about 10 games left. So the fact that they could just do so much, the baseball team has turned around so much with the leadership of Coach McCall and just the players on the team.
I think it's difficult. We see all this turnaround for almost every program on campus, so that's just what makes it difficult.
Yeah, that is a tough one. I'm still kind of making the decision now, I got to be honest, but I think I have to give it to baseball here. It's the type of performance that this might be the best baseball team that Emory Henry has ever had. Like you're saying, they have 10 games to become the most winningest team, and they might even make it into the ODAC tournament. So I think I'll give it to baseball here, but all of those teams are very deserving.
I'm going to agree with everyone and go with baseball.
All right, and now for this last segment, we have the Coach of the Year award. Starting off, we have Ann Crutchfield for women's basketball, Tommy Forrester for softball, Lisa Muse-Mueller-Terry and Heather McLeod for equestrian, Kurt Newsom for football, and David Wilson for men's basketball.
I can't remember if he won it last year, but I think it's going to be Coach Wilson. If he won it last year, repeating again this year, just to the season that he had again this past year with this team. Had another young team, a few seniors on the team, but was able to turn this team into a 16-12 team and into a 20-8 team and almost win an ODAC championship and go to the NCAA tournament. So got to give it to Coach Wilson here.
Also got to agree with that. Ever since he's been here, the record has only gotten better. But being a part of this team, I've seen just growth in myself as a manager. He's a great coach. I'm going to give it to Coach Wilson.
I got to give it to Coach Wilson as well. Like you're saying, it just happens at all levels, and the consistent excellence that he is beginning to expect out of the team, the basketball team has really rose to the challenge and the standard this new standard that he has set for excellence and execution. I'm giving it to Coach Wilson.
And setting my bias aside, I'm going to go with Coach Wilson. I am one of his players, but at the same time, in looking at what he's done with the program statistically and just logistically over the past 3-4 years since he's gotten here, I think it's an obvious Coach of the Year award.
This is just one thing I'd like to say about the coaches here at Emory Henry. They grow the players more than just as players. They grow them as men and women just to strive later on in life, and that's what you just can't get anywhere else. I just love it here about Emory Henry, and I just love that all our coaches can do that.
You can accredit that to every single coach on this list and who is not on this list. That's just what we have here at Emory Henry. And that is all for our finalists here on Buzz Time for the Blue and Gold and Globe Awards. It will be on Monday, April 24th at 7 p.m. in the MCA. Everyone show out and just find out who will win all these categories. It will be very interesting to see, and we are excited to see you there. I'm Andrew Davis. On behalf of these fine gentlemen here on Buzz Time, we're signing off.
The Weekly Dab.